Welcome back to the Purple Party, known as Purple Nerd Channel, a home for all those who geek out on all things Prince related. After a 4-year hiatus, Prince and Morris Day started talking again, and they started working on a new album for The Time. And just like the previous 3 albums by The Time, Prince wrote, produced, and performed all the songs, and Morris Day would come in and just dub over Prince's vocals. This time it was slightly different, as Candy Duffer was brought into the recordings to provide saxophone. All the original Time members, including Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, were back and set to star in the sequel to Purple Rain Graffiti Bridge, which this new album would be tied into the film for its promotion. The new album was called Corporate World and scheduled to be released on November 19th, 1989, with 9 Lives being the first single. But when Warner Brothers got word that the original lineup was back, they stopped the release of this album and requested that the group be involved in the album, including writing, producing, and performing. And you might ask yourself, why this sudden change of heart? Because Warner Brothers pretty much didn't really care about the Time records and let Prince do whatever he wanted to with them. Well, that was because of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and more specifically, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and Janet Jackson. You see, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis became very prominent producers after leaving the group The Time, and had huge success with several different acts. But the one that they became the most famous for was Janet Jackson, as they had produced her album Control, which sold over 10 million copies. They also produced her album Rhythm Nation, which was set to come out in 2 months and already had several different singles released that were doing very, very well on the charts. So Prince, with The Time, went back into the studio and recorded a new album that would be called Pandemonium. Pandemonium was released July 10th, 1990, peaking at number 9 in the R&B charts and selling over 500,000 copies on its initial release. This album had 15 tracks. 5 new songs were recorded just for this album, and those 5 songs were recorded with Prince, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Morris Day, and Jesse Johnson. There was also 5 songs that had no Prince input whatsoever, and 4 tracks that originally came from Corporate World that were reworked by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Before we dive into this lost treasure of an album, I have a really big announcement to make. So, like always, I'm going to play snippets of the songs and I'm going to talk about each song. But starting with this episode and every episode after this one, exclusively on Patreon, I will be posting full versions of these episodes, which means you will get full clips of the songs and videos, which means instead of getting a 5-second snippet, you will get at least a minute long or longer in some cases of the song and or video. The Patreon link is down below if you're interested. I think it's maybe $3 a month to sign up, but you'll get full videos and full clips of everything I put on each of these episodes from here on out. We kicked the album off with Murph Drag. This song starts off with the I'm Back rap/chant that's used at the end.
Fellas, I'm back, the aristocratic black
Of the song Pandemonium from the album Pandemonium. We also have Jerome Benton on this song as well. 9 Lives, which was planned to be the first single off this album, was originally recorded in 1988 by Kat and meant to be on her solo debut album, which was canceled when she left the Prince camp, which I'm actually working on trying to find all the songs from that album and doing a vault review of that album because I'm really intrigued. But in June of 1989, Prince had Morris come in and dub over her vocals, and he also brought in Margie Cox to sing background on the song.
Donald Trump black version. Maybe that's what.
Next we have Donald Trump Black Version. And don't worry, this song was recorded in 1989, so there's no political association with Donald Trump. He's just used as a metaphor for a millionaire. The song would be reworked by The Time for Pandemonium as they add more instruments to the song, and the vocals are just slightly different. Love Machine was originally recorded in August of 1989 by Prince and Jill Jones, and if anyone has a copy of that version, please send it to me because I would love to hear that, because I've been digging through every place I can dig through and I can't find that version anywhere. A few weeks after recording that version, Prince would have Morris Day come in and dub over his vocals, and Elisa dub over Jill's vocals. This song would find its way onto the Graffiti Bridge soundtrack. Databank was originally recorded in 1986 by Prince and the Revolution for the canceled Dream Factory project. Prince would rework the song in 1989 with Morris Day for this album, only to be reworked again a few weeks later by The Time for their album Pandemonium. The two songs differ by how the production is done and also how the vocals are delivered. Shake was recorded in 1989 for this project, but a few weeks later was reworked by The Time for their album Pandemonium, but Prince decided to leave it off The Time's album and move it on to the soundtrack for Graffiti Bridge.
Let's go. Let's go.
Corporate World was originally written, produced, and performed by Ricky Freeze Smith in 1989. Morris Day dubbed over Ricky's vocals, and Prince added more guitar to the track, and Margie Cox was brought in for background vocals. The Latest Fashion was recorded in 1987 by Prince and offered to Dale Bozio, but she turned the song down. In July of 1989, Prince would rework the song with Morris Day and have Candy Duffer add her saxophone skills to the song. In September of 1989, Prince decided to rework the song again, using the music from the song Summertime Thing, and actually making it a duet between him and Morris Day. This is the version that was added to the Graffiti Bridge soundtrack.
Listen to me now. Release it.
Release It was recorded with Jerome Benton, Morris Day, and Candy Duffer again on saxophone. The drums, which actually dominate the song, are actually a sample of the song Squib Cakes from Tower of Power. This song will be added to the Graffiti Bridge soundtrack.
My summertime thing.
My Summertime Thing was originally recorded by Prince and Morris Day in 1983, and for a brief moment was considered for the Time's 1984 released Ice Cream Castle. Prince would rework the song in June of 1989 with Morris Day and Jerome Benton, with dialogue from Prince and Jana Anderson. The scene from Graffiti Bridge where Morris Day and Jerome meet Aura for the first time is reenacted on this song. And I really don't know why, but for whatever reason it's strange to me, but Morris Day and Jerome deliver their lines way better on the song than they actually do in the film itself. At one time, the way it was configured, this song was only 6 minutes long and it transitioned into another song called Roller Skate. The music stayed the same with several different, scenes kind of added into the song, including Morris taking the character Stella to this club he just bought and threatening an unnamed character played by Prince that he was going to drag him behind his Cadillac or his BMW, I don't remember which song, to be roller skated behind his car. The final cut of this album just decided to make it one 11-minute long song. The Time would rework this song in September of 1989, removing all the extra dialogue and all the acted out scenes, trimming the song back and also adding additional vocals, which would end up on their album Pandemonium. And again, I have to be controversial and say that I like Corporate World way better than Pandemonium. And don't get me wrong, Pandemonium is fire, but Corporate World is just a better put together album. It's way more raw and funkier, and that's what I dig. Thank you again for joining me on the channel. Please like and share this video as much as possible. And as always, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so that you know a new episode has just dropped. I will see you on the next episode, which is going to be a special episode with a special guest. So, until that next episode, I wish you heaven.